the fuck are all the liberals? I thought you stood against this shit. I thought the war machine was your enemy. Now you're friends with it?
A really good point. In my lifetime, we've gone almost 180-degree shift in the position of the two major parties.
Holding in the way, that's what I heard them say. They used to heed the words he said, but that was yesterday. Gold will turn to gray, and youth will fade away. They'll never care about you, call you holding in the way.
Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Old Men in Chairs. Last week was a very busy week at this channel. It started out with me doing a reaction to Trump Latino's song Unity, which went totally viral, got 5,000 views in the first couple of days, is now up over 7,000, keeps growing. And then, of course, at the end of the week, we had Tom MacDonald out with his latest song, Race War. A lot of controversy about that. YouTube has shadow banned him because they don't like the term race war. He's getting less than half what he normally would get on YouTube in terms of views. I think it may have trickled down to some of the reactors. I know I started off very slow with my reaction, which I did with Dave Footer. We did have a little spurt. We got up over 500 views, but nothing like what we've seen in some of the previous Tom MacDonald reactions. And amidst all that, the channel got monetized, at least to the extent that we can now offer merchandise and some other features. We aren't yet in the situation where we're going to get paid for the advertising. Apparently, that requires 4,000 hours of viewers in the last 365 days. We're up over 3,000. I think we have about 3,200 and some. So a ways to go to get totally monetized, but we made the first step. In any case, during all this hectic week, it didn't escape my attention that Samson dropped another song called Sincerely a Taxpayer. But with everything else going on, I just didn't have time to get to it last week. But we're going to remedy that here this morning. Anytime Samson drops, it's worth a listen. I might not agree with everything he says, but he says it with a great deal of passion. So in a couple seconds when I press play, this chair here is going to be filled with a young man. In contrast to the old men in chairs on this side of the computer, we're going to hear from a young man in a chair.
I'm hurting. I can feel my money draining. They take everything I make and you wonder why I'm complaining. I break my neck to make this money that they just come and take it from me. My wages ain't that great in the first place. I should be paying you nothing, but they keep on coming and they keep on taking. These motherfuckers go ham on me every time I bring them the bacon. And I wonder what it's for. Ukraine, great funding a war. Have we spent enough yet? Should I guess not? Look, here they come for some more.
So right away, he's talking about how much taxes are taken from him. And where's it going? I don't necessarily agree that the money going from Ukraine is coming from his taxes. I wish it were that simple. The fact is, most of the money that's being spent not only in Ukraine but in other government projects, or a large part of it now, is just being printed. It's not coming directly from taxpayers. They're just printing more money, living way beyond their means. I think the federal deficit this year is going to be $2 trillion. That means they're spending $2 trillion more than what they actually take in taxes. So what's the effect of that besides, high interest rates because nobody wants to give us credit anymore? But also it translates down the line into higher prices and inflation. In his last video, Price Hike, Samson talked about the inflation, what's going on. And in this video, he's going to talk about the taxes. But they're really two sides of the same coin, because the deficit spending resulting in economic ruin for our country.
Ukraine, great funding a war. Have we spent enough yet? Should I guess not? Look, here they come for some more. Fuck me, I'm sore. Sucks being poor. You had the same job for the last 6 years, wasn't struggling before. Back when Trump was in office, fuck all the junk that they called him. I never saw any of the shit that people always said he was in the comments. All of it was nonsense, I ain't even trying to ride him either. I'm just saying you gotta admit that shit was fine when he was the leader. It was fine when he was in charge. I never saw bills as high as they are. I never got chills just literally thinking about filling up my car. It shouldn't be that way. I don't care.
No, it shouldn't be that way. And it wouldn't have been that way, I don't believe, if Trump had been declared the winner of the last election, as he should have been. We have now a very reckless leadership in this country. What is their ultimate goal? Are they trying to destroy the country? If they were trying to destroy it, would they do anything different than what they've been doing? Spending like drunken sailors, opening the border, engaging in a very expensive war in the Ukraine, and risking not only our position in the world, but nuclear Armageddon. It's pretty bleak out there.
As they are, I never got chills just literally thinking about filling up my car. It shouldn't be that way. I don't care about Russia or Ukraine, but I do care about my own country. Is that insane? I care a lot about all the tons of money that we're paying, because it's mine, not yours, and I'm the one that feels the pain. I get taxed on my fucking ass for every dime I make. It'd be fine if they would spend my money wisely, but no way. It'd be great if they would take it and pay for important shit that benefited you and me, and not just wage wars with it. And where the fuck are all the liberals? I thought you stood against this shit. I thought the war machine was your enemy. Now you're friends with it?
A really good point. In my lifetime, we've gone almost 180-degree shift in the position of the two major parties. When I was young, the Democrats were the anti-war party. They were also in favor of civil rights and free speech. And now those values being upheld much more by the Republican Party. Certainly the Republican Party is the one fighting against censorship on the social media. And it's the Republicans that are questioning this war in Ukraine. Although, I've got to admit, there are a large number of rhinos in the Republican Party who seem to be in bed with the military-industrial complex. That's on both sides of the aisle, and those people are making billions of dollars supplying the weapons of war. That money, I'm afraid, a percentage of it goes right back into the pockets of our leaders in Congress and unfortunately all the way up into the Oval Office. That's what's driving this war, is people's greed.
I thought you stood against this shit. I thought the war machine was your enemy. Now you're friends with it? Now you wanna go to war? Now you wanna fight? Now you wanna pick sides in a feud where everyone is white? Now you wanna get involved and go and blow a person up? I'm just saying, I'm surprised this altercation ain't diverse enough. No one deserves this stuff. I just don't believe the tears you weep. Countries where brown people get bombed every day. I don't hear a peep, you fucking hypocrites.
Fair point. As long as Obama was using the drones to kill Muslims, people in Pakistan, and Iran, Iraq, nobody had a big problem with it. But now, when Russia invades Ukraine, all of a sudden we need to get involved. It's part of a grand strategy. It's a game of chess on a world stage. The United States wants to maintain its position as top dog in the world economy, and they see Russia and China as the biggest threats. Are they trying to save Ukraine, or are they trying to wear down Russia? It seems more like the latter. It's all about impoverishing Russia, boycotting Russia, blowing up their pipeline.
Thought the race thing was your shtick. I thought as long as white people were involved, you don't give a shit. Those are your words, not mine. I'm just wondering why. Why do we have endless money for them and none for Hawaii? Why is it every time Zelensky needs a loan from someone, we're the only ones that give it to him like we owe him something? We got issues of our own here at home that no one's discussing, and they keep growing cause no one in power is gonna do nothing.
Hawaii is a really good case in point. The federal government sent each resident of Hawaii $750. What is that going to do? They've lost everything. They've lost their homes, their jobs, their infrastructure. What are they going to do with $750? That's not going to put their lives back together.
Alone here at home that no one's discussing, and they keep growing cause no one in power is gonna do nothing. We're stuck. How the fuck we gonna help somebody else when we can't even reach inside our own pockets to help ourselves? We could allocate that money to our own people in different ways, to clothe and feed and bathe and let them know it'll be okay. We could definitely do that. Don't tell me it's not that simple. People overcomplicate this and make it some fucking riddle like can't just feed everyone, are you insane? You know how much that costs? Way less than we've sent to Ukraine, I know that for sure. You don't have to be a mathematician or a foreign relations expert to figure out that division. You don't have to draw a graph to see it would cost a fraction to solve half of the problems we have and stop them from happening. I'm just saying, what kind of fucking world we living in? So many billions we've given them, when's Europe chipping in? When we gonna start splitting and stirring up the dividends and begin telling other nations it's your turn to lend a hand? Listen, I don't think Ukraine deserves any of this, but I also don't think Zelensky is as great as they said he is. I don't believe the media when they blurt shit on their shows. You'd have to be naive to think this dude's as pure as driven snow. No one is, especially when you run a nation, dog. Your morals are compromised the minute that you take the job. So I don't trust Zelensky, Putin, Biden, or anyone. I don't think...
Yeah, those are dangerous words in this world. Putin is the devil. When you lump him in with Biden and Zelensky and say they're all bad, that's going to really ruffle some feathers. Samson doesn't really much care about that. He tells it like it is, or at least the way he sees it.
The minute that you take the job. So I don't trust Zelensky, Putin, Biden, or anyone. I don't think any of them give a fuck about all us little ones. All the people of Russia, all the people of Ukraine, most of the people of the USA probably feel the same. We don't want this shit, it's only the elites that do. They line their pockets, they profit from this, but not from me and you. Quite the contrary, in fact, we pay for it with our lives and money. They take chunks of everything we make, and soldiers die for nothing, so they can gain some more power and keep their banks fat. And all we get is table scraps. Fuck yeah, it makes me mad. Fuck yeah, I get upset. We're constantly ignored. Why the fuck I gotta pay for this? I don't want this war. How the Pentagon have $6 billion unaccounted for, but when I do my taxes, I'm afraid to be $1 short.
$6 billion missing is probably a drop in the bucket. Remember when Secretary of Defense Rumsfeld announced the day before 9/11 that there was $2 trillion that he couldn't account for in the Pentagon budget? Yeah, where's that money going? Whose pockets is it ending up in? Not you and me, for sure.
$6 billion unaccounted for, but when I do my taxes, I'm afraid to be $1 short. I'm afraid I'll go to jail. I'm afraid I'll do some time if I don't pay you back the money that you wasted. That was mine. I can't keep quiet anymore. It's impossible to shut up. I'm sick and tired of being responsible for all your fuck-ups. But the question is, what we gonna do about it? There's never a plan of action. All we seem to do is shout it, and I'm guilty of it too. Always bitching and complaining, never walking, always talking, always lipping off and saying
Samson's just another armchair warrior, sitting in his chair, mouthing off about it, but what are we going to do about it? Most people aren't willing to get up out of that chair and get to the streets and protest. That's the sad truth of it. The minority of people might question it on Facebook or some other social media, but they wouldn't go outside and take a stand or go talk to their legislators or do anything like that. That has to change if we're going to have real change.
Always bitching and complaining, never walking, always talking, always lipping off and saying I'ma do shit but I don't. And to be honest with you, that's the reason I don't make a lot of songs, and that's the truth. I'm sick of bumping my gums, I'm tired of flapping my jibs. Something needs to be done, and I don't know if rapping is it. We need a real solution, but we need to get together first, because unless we're all in this as a whole, it'll never work. However, what do I know? I'm just a moron with a pen, but there's power in numbers, and there's more of us than them.
The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged, and nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on, continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all, at all, at all.
So that was the late, great comedian George Carlin there at the end. He's been proven very, very accurate on that statement, that the rich people that we elect don't really care about us for the most part. A few may, a very small number may, but most of them are about, where can I get some money so I can run for re-election? Where can I invest that money so that I can make a killing on insider information. Where can I get jobs for all my friends? That's really what politics is about. Another very, very passionate appeal by Mr. Samson. And it's good to see him back in the game, putting out 2 videos within a month. And we hope he will continue, even though he seems somewhat discouraged there at the end. But his voice is important. He's kind of the voice of the middle class. I think he works a regular job. You know, he makes a little money on the rapping music, but he's a regular guy. He even has a regular guy's mullet haircut. He's every man. And if every man is hurting and feeling like he does, I think that actually bodes well for change. What can't go on will not go on eventually. And when people get to the boiling point and they can't take it anymore, then they'll be willing to get up out of their armchairs and actually do something to bring about real change.